Hello and welcome to the Decibel Boost Podcast, the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host, Robert, the only person on this podcast who thinks The Simpsons is still funny. And with me, I have...
the ever-growing master of ASMR, who was born to make history, Alex.
And...
I'm one of the guys that actually writes too much.
But you shouldn't feel any shame for it. You know, it's good to be productive.
Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But damn, is it ever so tiring.
Wish I could have that much productivity going on my end.
Which reminds me, I really gotta get around to doing the video for episode 9. I still haven't gotten to it yet.
But you didn't?
Yeah, remember, that was like the week before I got sick. And I've been like, just caught up with like work and stuff, so...
Yeah, we're all behind on everything, no big deal.
Although with the upcoming Thanksgiving, you know, maybe I can finally get the video done for that. By the way, if you're listening to this, and if it comes out on Thursday, happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving, and happy pre-Record Store Day Black Friday, everyone!
Hopefully you managed to survive the crazy shit with your families.
And the crazy shit that's going to happen on Thanksgiving, too. Whole lot of racist uncles.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk with your awkward family members that might start some shit, and then after that, you go to the stores and or in the morning breaking people's bones for some shit that you may not need, but shit.
A lot of people always need a toaster for $5. I don't know why, but that's always the case.
You need a toaster!
Not me. I'm just gonna be like sitting home talking shit to anyone who tries to talk shit to me back. Hashtag Thanksgiving clapback.
Yeah, I work Friday.
Me too. And Saturday.
Not me, obviously, because like I work at a college, so you know we have Thanksgiving and Friday off. So, like I said, maybe I can get caught up on some stuff.
Yeah, hopefully, we all can.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, how have you gentlemen been?
Well, I've been fan-damn-tastic. Between picking up Pokemon Sun and Moon, picking up my wonderfully red vinyl copy of Metallica's new album, and seeing my boys Yuri and Victor engage in a very luscious lip lock, I've had a pretty good week. And I've needed this week, especially the last couple of days. It just feels good to just feel happy, you know?
How about you, Mark?
Like I said, 502 reviews for the weekend, and my hands are tired.
Yeah, not much has been up on my end, although I did miss the chance to see Steven Wilson yesterday.
Oh, you missed him.
Yeah. So, look on the bright side. At least for the time being, you can still lord over my head the fact that you've seen Devin Townsend.
Yes, I have! That beautiful bald head. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and, yeah, just, you know, doing work, school stuff. Also been jamming the new Animals as Leaders album, you know, for the past week or so.
Oh, another good album, yeah.
Okay, it's a good album. I consider it the weakest of the whole Animals as Leaders discography up to this point, you know? Just, like, it never hits, like, the sweet spot of, like, that The Joy of Motion did, where it's, like, you know, the perfect hybrid of, like, experimentation, mind-blowing technique, and just damn catchy as fuck songwriting. Like, it's never really, like, any of those things, like, all at once through the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, but still, I kind of like some of the, what's the word? Some of, I want to say melodies, because I know that's not the word I'm looking for, but the structure of some of the songs.
I mean, I'll give it, like, the first 4 tracks on the album are fucking classic as shit Animals as Leaders jams, but after that, it's just kind of, Arithmophobia, though. That's my shit.
Cool. You
know, that Indian, like, sitar intro and, you know, those drum grooves and stuff.
Yeah. So, what are we going to debate about Metallica's new album?
I have not gotten a chance to pick it up yet, although I am getting paid this week, so I have to decide if I'm going to get that or Pokemon Moon, if you want to know which direction I'm going with the Pokemans this time around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see on that. Oh, which reminds me, we probably should have reviewed it for the site, now that I think about it.
What? The album or the game?
Both.
Well, I'm doing the game. I can do the album, too.
Yeah, fair enough. What else? Nah, I think that's pretty much about everything. So, with those formalities out of the way, I have to issue a correction because I was very unclear on this in the last episode. When we were discussing the album sales for the most recent Avenged Sevenfold release, I kept bouncing back and forth between 75,000 and 72,000. Just to clarify, for the record, the first week sales for the stage were 72,000. Although either way, I don't think it matters because it's still low as shit.
Yeah. Nobody buys music anymore. Although, because I gotta mention it again, the sales for Metallica's new album are looking to be pretty good. Possibly another number one.
Possibly. And they'll be able to swipe the top spot from A Tribe Called Quest, who managed to nab their first number one album since 1996, 97.
Yeah. Good company to be to share with.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good album.
Yeah.
I took someone else. Pretty good.
Fitting farewell for one of the greatest hip-hop groups of our time. Why the hell did I say trio? Shit. Tongue-tied. Yeah. Anyway, before we get into the weekly musical discussion, I want to issue an album recommendation. If you need something like a quick, amusing musical listen, I recommend checking out the newest album by Canadian punk rock band The Evaporators titled Ogo Pogo Punk. Now, if you've never heard of The Evaporators, you actually might know one of their members. Their frontman and vocalist, the popular Canadian music interviewer, Nardwuar the Human Serviette. Neither of you know who that is, do you?
I am very unfamiliar with who that is.
Alex, you suck.
I am a very busy man. I don't have time to be on the internet all day looking at
lies
shit.
And balderdash. But yeah, if you need a humorous listen, you should go ahead and check it out on their site and stuff. I'll be sure to include a link down there. So just remember to keep on rocking in the free world and do. Sorry, I had to. I like Nardwuar. Anyway, so with that out of the way, let's get into discussing the relatively short batch of new songs of note that came during the past week. Yeah, we only really got about 6. Unless you really wanted to hear us talk about those 2 new Future songs, which I doubt it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Pretty much. So, to kick things off, as we mentioned last week, Childish Gambino announced that he's releasing a new album on December 2nd titled Awaken My Love, and he's dropped the second single from that album this past week titled Redbone, which pretty much confirms at this point that this whole album is probably going to be like this, 70s soul kind of alternative R&B type thing. Although I can't say I'm as on Redbone as I was on Me and Your Mama, because this one sounds a little infantile. There's something about the melody, a lot of the twinkling of it, so to speak, that almost kind of sounds like what you would hear in Mr. Rogers' Honeymoon Suite.
Yeah, what you said, that's my notes on this song. 70s soul and R&B. With that said, I'm not the biggest fan of 70s soul and R&B. It's just never was my thing because I'm not, a 50-year-old white woman.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest going to say that I kind of enjoyed this more than I did Me and Your Mama Made because I'm actually favorable of the 70s type of funk and soul. I think that sound kind of get to me when I was in business a news amount of times. Which I especially like the last part of the song where it goes through the funky guitar melody in there. I actually dig this track more and more. I listen to it.
I don't know. I think the thing that kind of prevents me from liking it as much as I should is the vocals on this one. Because, Me and Your Mama had very powerful vocals courtesy of Gambino, but this one, they're dressed. I don't know if he's doing a weird falsetto thing or he's got some weird vocal processing effect or a mix of both, but it just sounds off,
Mm-hmm.
I can get that. I can make out some vocals in there. Although, and I know the 2 Childish Gambino is more singing than rapping. I'm kind of interested to see how how the album will turn out to be.
Yeah, maybe like the whole thing will be better overall. But yeah, you're gonna have to wait until December 2nd for that, which means most people are probably gonna hold off doing their best of the year list until then. I mean, I'm probably going to. Up next, one of my favorite bands in the crossover thrash genre, or is it crossover punk? I forget what the actual. Anyway, Iron Reagan. That one band that is cool and good and that you should be listening to. They recently announced they were coming out with a new album on February 3rd, titled, of course, Crossover Ministry, and they dropped the first single appropriately titled A Dying World. Gee, I wonder why this world is dying.
Yeah, I wonder.
What could it be for the past week and a half or 2 weeks?
Yeah. Or, the year.
Yeah.
That too.
So if you ever listen to any Iron Reagan at all, or any thrash, you'll pretty much know what to expect. It's loud, it's fast, it's heavy and aggressive, and of course, the lyrics are all about just how fucked we are as a species.
Yep.
I like it.
I like it too. It's heavy punk, and that's two words I thought I'd never say in my lifetime. Heavy and punk in the same sentence. In the same phrase.
It's some good mosh fodder, so to say. It gets you pumped. It puts hair on your chest.
Yeah, it makes you want to hit something, or break something, or hit something and break something. Preferably a bone, or a skull, or a limb, or a human.
Thankfully, I have 5 in my closet. As far as you know. Okay, so, up next. Yeah, Freddie Gibbs has been up to some shit these past few weeks. Or months.
Well, yeah, months. Yeah.
Although, yeah, he's been dealing with, lawsuits related to sexual assault. Yeah. Although I think he, posted bail and now he's, I guess, out. We know that because he dropped a new track titled All Day. You want to talk about this one, Mark?
Yeah. This track, for Freddie Gibbs is, he's a gangster rapper, but he's not the typical, other song, he talks about, his fans, his homies, but it's more like, it's not like it's so horribly type of rap. It's not about that shit. It's more like, how it's like how it goes down for his, for his homies, his squad, all that shit. And I will say, the beat in here is nice, produced by this producer called, Harry Fraud, who got this tag. Music got the Harry Fraud. The beat does sound like something like you hear from our earlier 3-6 Mafia Project Bat type of sound.
It kind of sounds like what would happen if Ray Shremmer was formed in 2006. That's just me though.
Okay, they Freddie spent some good verses in there, and I do think as much as I'm a fan of Freddie Gibbs, I hope he stays out of fucking trouble for Mount Time, because all the shit I've been hearing about him this year has got me kind of bummed, because he is one of my favorite rappers coming up, and not just all later on he stop getting some bullshit. But yeah, overall I did this track a lot. I don't know if that album coming out. I don't know, just stay out of trouble. Look for Madlib again, do some shit with that, But yeah, it's good.
Good to know. And up next, after that, this was something that Alex brought to my attention. The band Pain of Salvation, which, I swear to God, that name sounds so familiar to me. I feel like I may have listened to them once in the past, but if I did, I really can't remember.
Okay, so should I take the lead on this one?
Go for it.
Okay. Pain of Salvation. They are a great, dark, brooding, progressive metal band that all you should be listening to. They've been around, if you can believe it, since 1984, when their frontman, Daniel Gildenlow, who is a beautiful soul who shall always be treasured, was only 12 years old. The guy is magnificent at what he does, but they've been kind of quiet lately. So imagine my surprise when I hear they have a new song out and a new album coming out called In the Passing Light of Day, coming out on January 13th. And this album is quite the return to form of some of their older, heavier days, like the days from The Perfect Element, and I want to say Remedy Lane as well. This song it's pretty brooding, not so heavy, but it has a really solid, heavy groove to it. It has a neat little EDM beat to it. The song is called Meaningless, by the way. It has a really cool EDM style beat, like kind of that kind of thing throughout the song. It just sounds, in a way, kind of creepy, but also really cool because it fits with the overall groove and melody that's going on in the song. And that voice is just so lovely. Hard to believe it's been like 6 years since their last album.
Damn.
Yeah. Rob, do you know anything about these guys other than that looming memory that you have?
Not that I can really say, no. I gave this song a couple of listens, and for the most part, I'm in agreement. The only thing that kind of bugs me is that, like, in, like, I guess what you would call verses, the actual guitar line feels weirdly empty and sparse.
Yeah, it's kind of ambient in that way, because it has that sort of low, tone kind of groove. I don't know.
Yeah, but then it's almost kind of like there's parts where it, like, cuts out, kind of, like, oh, okay, I guess guitars are going away for a while.
Yeah. Anyway, your homework, Rob? Listen to the albums The Perfect Element and Scarsick.
Okay, guess I got another...
Excellent albums.
Okay, I guess I'll add that to my album a day listenings.
Yeah, do that. It's so good.
Anyway, speaking of music that's moody, dark, and creepy, we've got 2 Adult Swim singles that came out in the past week to talk about. In fact, one of them dropped, like, today. Like, I noticed it as soon as I got home from work.
I won't talk about today. Like,
yeah. But, yeah, anyway, to start off with the first of these, we got a new jam from the sludge/doom metal act, The Body. You know, one of those really weird experimental doom acts that all the hipster blogs like Noisy and Pitchfork love to praise. They're kind of weird because, you know, they pretty much embody, like, the conventions of their genre for the most part, except they include, like, a lot of synths and programmed drums to add, like, I guess you could say an industrialized edge to them. If you want, like, a good reference point, they had an album out this year, appropriately titled No One Deserves Happiness. Which sounds like the name of Alex's autobiography.
Well, one of them anyway. I'm saving that one for the memoirs. The autobiography is going to be something a little more, well, I guess you could say brutal. Like, you are all diseased. No, wait, that's taken. Back to the drawing board, because Carlin stole that idea from me, even though I didn't come up with it first.
But yeah, off the heels of that album, which was like back in February, they released a new song called To Know and To Hide. And it is pretty characteristically The Body, because it opens up with this really dark, like, almost kind of John Carpenter-esque synth thing. And it, you know, proceeds with this kind of, like, programmed drum, like, electronic beat thing going on. You know, before the bass, just this low, fuzzy, just kind of rumbling throughout the entire thing. All of these elements just kind of swirling into this sort of nightmare pastiche. Especially when sort of like the, I guess you would call the acoustic, air quotes, drums kick in. Because, you know, it sounds like actual drums, but it's like chopped and like mixed in a way that's like really like stuttering and unnerving. And then when Chip King's vocals kick in, which, you know, kind of sound like a dying parrot. I mean that as a compliment, of course. Yeah, it's just this, you know, swirling just vortex of your nightmares. And I think I might finally be starting to get the appeal of this band fully. You know, I like the song. It's very... In fact, I wish the song came out back in October, because this is good, you know, spooky music.
Yeah, I did the check as well. And yeah, I did the song. Yeah, all this
wow, I'm surprised. I did not expect that from the Blue Hybrid.
What do we...
So, all kinds of surprises can happen here.
Yep.
And now, we got the last song on our list, the second track that dropped. Today we're recording this. Chino Amobi, a producer who I basically know nothing about. other than from what I could glimpse, they have some vague association with Elijah Crampton, who appeared on the Singles program earlier this year. They bring a new track called Negative Fire, which is some thoroughly good stuff. Very cinematic in a dystopian sci-fi kind of manner. You know, like, the beat is very percussive and thumping. There's lots of sounds of, you know, like, broken glass and, you know, disturbing sounds, complemented with, like, this unnerving, like, voiceover, almost to, like, you know, like a freaking, like, megaphone, almost, like I said, like a dystopian future where it's like someone broke a law and now basically every authority force imaginable is basically hunting down your ass right now. Or as we call it, Trump's America.
Hey!
I definitely get that listen to this, because the way I listen to it, I imagine it if at first I listen to the beat, it sounds like something I hear as a pep melody, but then followed by a fight, then followed by chaos, followed by a bunch of bad shit happening around, people getting killed, beat up, glass broken, chaos reigns, basically everything that is gonna happen right now.
Yeah, so current day America.
Still great song though.
Yeah, I think it might actually be in my top 10 for this year.
Yeah, same here. I'm really switching a lot of songs. I don't know what songs I put in my top 10. I'll go back and forth with this shit.
Well, thankfully, you'll have plenty of time to you'll have plenty of time to figure that out soon. Assuming that they don't just, like, drop all the songs in the next few days. Anything's possible at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anything sure is possible.
That'll do it for the new songs that have come out in the past week. And when we come back, we're gonna, you know, dig into the news topics. Some good, some infuriating.
And some just outright confusing.
Straight up.
Fuck?
See you in, like, 20 seconds. And we're back. By the way, apologize for all the coughing. I was just reminded that Kendrick performed his god-awful collaboration with Maroon 5 at the AMAs, and, you know, it's kind of making me sick. Anyway, I suppose we have to actually dive into the news this week. First up, one that pertains to my neck of the woods, the ever-so-popular yearly occurrence that is the Ultra Music Festival. You know, that ever-so-special time of the year in which my Facebook feed basically turns into Craigslist. Literally, you have no idea. People are, like, fucking, like, buying, you know, tickets day one and then, like, trying to resell and fucking trade them like they're friggin' Pokemon cards.
But are there weird and random postings for sexual favors?
Dude, you know what? It's friggin' Florida, South Florida, there might as well be. But anyway, the Ultra Music Fest, you know, as always, this is about the time where they start announcing the lineup. So they've announced the first wave, the first batch of artists that I'm sure is going to grow and expand in the coming weeks or so. So I'm looking at the full setup right now. Perhaps most surprising and weirdly out of place, Ice Cube.
Yeah, that is weird.
Because I guess you gotta do something for money. You know, including showing up at an electronic music festival. But, you know, I don't judge. Also included on the lineup, there's The Prodigy. You know, the guys who smack your bitch up.
Yeah, they're still around?
I guess.
Yeah.
There's Major Lazer.
Ooh.
Ugh. Sorry, I just remembered they did that song Bubble Butt, and, you know, I think that might actually make me more sick than the Kendrick thing. Let's see, and among the rest of the more notable ones, there's Afrojack, David Guetta, who I guess still gets work, DJ Snake, Steve Aoki, DJ Tiesto, who my sister's a big fan of. Seriously, she has, like, almost all his releases and stuff.
Okay.
Underworld, that's about it for stuff I recognize. Like, I barely recognize anything else. I'm not much of, like, you know, the party EDM expert here, so I wouldn't really know.
So
I reckon, I recognize Justice, on there, and another call Martin Garrix. It's a bunch of EDM names. Some I know, some I do know, some I don't know, and of course Ice Cube, which is like that one chocolate chip in a sea of cornflakes.
Yeah.
Or Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. Now, I like to consider myself a fairly intelligent individual. What is the appeal of Steve Aoki?
I don't know. I've never really listened to this stuff before.
He's average, I guess, but I agree. Like, he's too average to be remarkable in any capacity, and yet how he got this big is kind of beyond me.
Oh, well, I just reminded myself there's a free Steve Aoki DLC pack in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and I don't know why.
As a what?
You can get Steve Aoki tracks in the game, and it's just why? I know it's free, but I feel like they should pay me money to get that.
I guess Steve Aoki's a Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah.
These are strange times we're living in, so I guess you can't. But hey, I guess whatever gets him a paycheck.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. So whenever the tickets start going up for that, I assume everyone on my Facebook feed is gonna not shut up about it. But I suppose we should move on to what I assume is probably going to be exciting news for all of, oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
What's that sound?
What's happening? I had that sitting on my phone just for this moment. So, I'm sure if you recognize that, if that sound has some significance to you, then I'm sure you're probably familiar with the works of Hollywood composer Hans Zimmer, whose scores have been in damn near everything at this point.
Pretty much.
Well, it appears that the film composer extraordinaire shall be teaching an online masterclass in composing for film for the low price of $90.
Yep.
And I say that in a non-sarcastic fashion. I was actually expecting that if you were getting a masterclass from one of the biggest composers of all time, that he would charge out the ass for it. $90 is actually kind of cheap. That's I don't even know what that you would relate that to. That's how much it costs to buy both Pokemon Sun and Moon, basically.
That's horrible. That's like the price of an Alpex Blu-ray.
Yeah. That's a lot cheaper than my classes, that's for sure. And hey, for $90, you too can learn how to bomb.
You can learn how to blum. You can learn how to write, decent sounding compositions that always have the problem of lacking proper dynamic control.
And you can learn how to cooperate with Junkie XL for a bad Superman movie.
I see what he did there.
Yeah. Just a reminder that Batman v Superman sucked.
I haven't seen it yet.
Don't. It's not worth your time.
It's bullshit.
Hey man, I'm a masochist. Try me, bro. But yeah, the enrollment for this class actually opens up on Friday on, literally like a website called MasterClass. It starts off in January 2017, and, let me actually see if he has, some quotes here about, the class. He says, and I quote, "My masterclass is a way for me to show that bold ideas can come from anyone, and all you need is a computer to make music. Maybe even just a phone. You can record yourself hitting your phone against the wall and then sample it and remix it cleverly.
Part of me died when just hearing that.
You will teach aspiring filmmakers and musicians how to use music to tell a story. Apparently it'll delve into, creating sound palettes, tempo, score, dialogue, all, including looking at examples of his own work and stuff."
But will there be any examples of The Critic in there?
What do you mean?
The show, The Critic.
Wait, what does that have to do with anything?
Hans Zimmer did the music for that show.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, well, he did the intro at least.
Damn. Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So, if you want to be the next guy to, be, doing the bloms, or maybe write a score as good as the original Pirates of the Caribbean, Fun fact, there was a time when those movies were actually good. Then, and if you got $90 to kill, there's actually a part of me that's kind of contemplating this. Like, for real. So, who knows? We'll see. Anyway, speaking of music and the internet, this year continues to make no goddamn sense.
Oh, boy howdy.
Now, we mentioned earlier that, Metallica has been, back in the spotlight with their newest album, Hardwired Ellipses to Self-Destruct, which, of course, made its rounds on all the, your physical record stores as well as your new platforms. Your Spotify's, your Amazon Music, your Napster. Wait, what?
What? And my head explodes,
Yes.
just like in that one movie.
Yeah, now let's re-educate you. Now, I'm sure all of us here, like me, Alex, I'm pretty sure even Mark, remember the bad old days of when Metallica went up to war with Napster, and Lars Ulrich officially revealed himself as the worst person ever. Well, okay, the third worst person ever. There's still Donald Trump and clowns. Those days. I mean, shit, there was even a South Park episode about it. But yeah, see, this shit is so confusing, it's making me cough. But, apparently, not only did Hardwired find its way onto the Napster streaming service, but all of Metallica's catalog is now available there.
And all it took was for Napster to get bought out twice.
This is messing with my fundamental understanding of reality. Like, just, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Well, with any consolation, we have, 40 days of the year left. It's almost over.
Which means, 40 more episodes of Bleach.
Yeah.
That's for y'all motherfuckers.
Well, technically just me at this point.
And a few others.
Yeah. But still, this is just, what happened? I don't know if Metallica finally realized the error of their ways or just thought, fuck it, since Napster's legit, we can make money off them now. Ha ha ha.
No, not like I need it. I mean, come on, Metallica.
Really? Weren't they, in debt from, the number of, from, putting on those big, festivals, exclusively for them, a couple years ago?
You gotta imagine, they must have, millions upon millions of dollars in savings.
Implying they save money.
They don't drink anymore, well, at least James doesn't.
As far as we know.
Yeah, whatever.
So
yeah, I mean, it's all everywhere now, except Tidal, because no one uses Tidal.
Update, no one's buying, still.
Not yet. Come on, Apple, I know you're a little crazy right now, but just buy Tidal, please!
Alright, so now we're about to move on to a handful of stories that have to deal, tangentially or directly, with our president-elect. His orange specter just hangs over this podcast ugh.
All glory to President Man-Child Pussy Grabber.
And so the first of these, 90s alt-rock staple, Presidents of the United States of America, or PUSA for short, have finally decided to call it quits after who knows how many years active. I'm kind of blanking on how long they've been around at this point. And, gee, I wonder why. Why would a band who's called Presidents of the United States of America might choose to call it quits around this time?
No one wants that association right now.
Although, according to their claim, let me see if I can read from the Facebook page here. We quietly retired from the PUSA business since we are old. Old people.
Hasn't stopped the Stones.
But yeah, if you are a fan of them, I actually don't know how many fans they would have at this point. I assume you must be just utterly heartbroken. But now...
And from there, we go to something just
legitimately heartbreaking.
Disgusting. It's more like it.
Fucking horrible.
Now, it's pretty clearly established at this point that the neo-Nazis who voted Trump into office are pretty much the worst examples of sore winners in recent memory.
Yeah.
Case in point, they've taken to a chaotic spree of hate crimes and, just nonsensical graffiti and just threatening. And one of the more notable recent examples is that swastikas and pro-Trump statements have been graffitied onto Adam Yauch Memorial Park. Now, in case you forgot who that is, Adam Yauch, also known by the alias MCA, is the late third member of the Beastie Boys, who passed away a few years ago due to, I believe it was cancer.
I'm pretty sure it was that. Something of that.
Now, this is already bad on its own because, this fucking hostility from people, especially, in good old New York City. But the story, it kind of gets, 3 times worse. It gains layers of terribleness when you realize that not only was Adam's mother Jewish, just let that sink in for a minute, but Adam himself was a practitioner of Buddhism. One of those religions where the swastika was of some significance before Nazis ruined it for everyone.
Yep.
Congratulations, assholes.
Yeah. And I know people are going to say, hey, we're not neo-Nazis. We're the alt-right. No. Most of you fucking are. If you look like a duck, act like a duck, and talk like a duck, you're a duck. You can call yourself a mallard, but you're still a duck.
This is fucking rocket science, people. And even if you're like, oh, I'm not a neo-Nazi, but I still voted Trump. Okay, I'm still kind of suspicious of you, because that means, his obvious inflammatory rhetoric was apparently not a deal breaker for you.
Yeah.
Which says more fucked up things about you than an explicit statement of neo-Nazism would.
The sexism, the racism, the anti-Semitic overtones. Y'all are some fucked up people. I'm sorry.
As far as the second half of this story, once the news of this broke out, an anti-hate, protest rally was organized in the park, featuring none other than fellow Beastie Boy Adam Horvitz, aka Ad Rock. Now, this took place on Sunday, and, his statements included, and I quote, "This is real. It's happening at a rapid rate. We gotta stand up against hate. Spray painting swastikas in a children's playground is a messed up thing to do. Oh, gee, you think?" Yeah. This shit, as in response to, the protests, they actually, redecorated a lot of the, propaganda with, cute hearts and children's drawings to show that no one's gonna take this shit lying down.
We're gonna be in for a very long 4 years at this rate.
Yeah.
And,
also, this leader is going to be bitching about SNL and fucking Hamilton.
Yeah.
We don't have time to get into that.
Yeah.
But
I know.
Oh, Lord.
Let's not get our hopes up for Kanye 2020, though.
You know what? That legitimately terrifies me. Because moving on to the last story this week, welcome to round 473 of Is Kanye Off His Meds, or is he just that stupid? Place your bets now, people.
This motherfucker.
Okay, so at a recent stop on Kanye's St. Pablo tour, Jesus Christ, that fucking album, he went on a weird rant, a weird tangent, stating that while he didn't vote in this election, if he did, he would have gone for Trump. Despite the fact that apparently he's still an advocate for gay marriage, women's rights, and a supporter of Black Lives Matter, plus the fact that he's made donations to Hillary Clinton's campaign back when she was running for president.
Hey, he needs that tax break for whatever reason.
How this makes sense in Kanye's head is beyond me.
Okay.
I think
he's talking shit. He wants to get fucking attention because anything that comes out of his brain, he go on saying something. You're like, nigga, are you crazy? What the fuck?
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, I mean, shit. There's an entire subset of articles on Noisy dedicated to here's the stupid shit Kanye tweeted this week, and I feel bad for the person whose job it is to catalog Kanye tweets. I really do.
Yeah.
But to make matters worse, at a show in Sacramento, California, he was an hour and a half late. He performed 3 songs. He then went on a weird political tirade mainly, criticizing Barack and Hillary, and also taking some weird pot shots at Beyonce and Jay-Z, including at one point insinuating that Jay-Z had hitmen that he could hire to take his ass out.
Oh, no.
He lost his fucking mind.
In the words of Michael Jackson, Kanye, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Kanye?
And to make matters worse, he was supposed to have a show at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles. Fine venue, classic venue. But he canceled that show within maybe a couple hours of the showtime. And as of they were recording this, he has canceled the rest of his tour. I don't know why. Oh, what is this now?
We gotta bring.
I'm seeing something.
I gotta
here.
bring this up because to your and Mark's point about how crazy this guy. There was a pretty viral tweet from Snoop Dogg, the D-O-double-G, who was. He took video of himself at the concert, and his basic response, and I might be paraphrasing a bit here, was like, "Man, I smoke weed. Weed don't make you say this shit. The fuck is he on? Even fucking Snoop Dogg thinks you're nuts."
Okay.
Right.
I hate to interrupt, but I might have a breaking update on this whole thing. This is coming straight from NBC. Apparently, Kanye West, from sources, is saying that he has been hospitalized. I'll just read what NBC. I'll just read what NBC is saying verbatim. Quote: Kanye West was under observation at an LA area hospital late Monday after remaining dates of his national tour were canceled. Multiple authorities familiar with the case told NBC News. It happened at about 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. They said there was no
4:20.
Yeah, ha. They said it was a medical welfare call sent to the LA Police Department. They're saying no criminal activity was involved, and it was for his own health and safety. So, make of that what you will. I guess we'll see what happens in the coming days.
I guess Kanye really isn't okay.
Yeah, or in the coming weeks. So, by the time you all listen to this, something else may have happened. But, we're recording this a little bit in the past, so this is all new to us.
Obviously.
Yeah.
This guy, he's unfucking believable. So,
what the fuck, man? I know you've been going crazy ever since your mama died. But shit, I'm looking now saying, son, what the fuck are you thinking?
He's a Kardashian in him.
Yep.
There's that too.
Anyway, after that bit of rage and condescending mockery, that covers just about all the weekly news topics of note. And to get into the usual, you want to talk about a dry week for new album releases. There's literally I only came across 5 total and only one of note or significance. Unless you really want to be listening to a new Garth Brooks album.
Ew, no.
So yeah, if you're wondering what the only significant album release for this week is, it's of course the newest album from, R&B pop star The Weeknd, titled Starboy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I know why it's going to be kind of a dry week, because this coming Friday is Record Store Day, Black Friday, and you know me, I'm the record snob around here. I gotta say, this year's offerings aren't that great. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not in the right appeal for a lot of these releases, but the whole list just doesn't do anything for me.
So yeah, I guess if you're really into The Weeknd, there you go.
Okay, just ignore what I said. Whatever, fine.
No, I get what you're saying. Although I'm trying to remember the Record Store Day Black Friday shop off the top of my head, but I guess the fact that I can barely remember a damn thing kind of proves your point.
Yeah, nothing overly notable is coming out, unless you're an indie hipster who loves those weird vinyl variants that you'll never be able to find anywhere else.
Ooh, look at me and my super cool solid gold print of the new Ty Segall release.
Sure, whatever.
Okay.
Alright, so with all of those topics out of the way, This is the part, as always, where we clean house to get the fuck out of here. So, Alex, where can they find you on the internets?
I can be found on the internets, on the Twitter at or of Azure, and that's just about it, because that's all I'm ever on.
Pretty much. Mark, where can they find you?
On Twitter at Mac2HybridMedia, also on my own site, the Mind of Hybrid One at thehybrid1.wordpress.com.
Good to know. And as for me, you can find me on Twitter, AskFM, and Instagram at RawBarracuda, which is also the name of my YouTube channel where you're likely listening to this podcast. While you're there, make sure to hit the subscribe button, as well as click the little bell thing so you can always be notified when new episodes of the podcast go up. And of course, this is the official music podcast of Surreal Resolution, which you can follow on Twitter at Surreal Rezo, as well as, going to the actual page, www.surrealresolution.com, and find the podcast on its own subdomain, decibelboost.surrealresolution.com, where you can find the archives of all the past episodes. And from clicking around the site, you can also listen to our other podcast, our gaming podcast, The Training Stage, in which our friends Tyler, Joey, and John give you all the good news about what's going on with the video games. After barraging you with 30 minutes of Overwatch obsession.
Hey, it's a fun game. You should try it sometime again.
Dude, what makes you think I didn't? I've tried one of the free weekends, and as far as I'm concerned, it was basically just an average Team Fortress 2 knockoff.
You are so lucky they're not here to listen to you say that.
Who knows? We're probably going to get in on a call with them after this, and I'm going to have opinions. I'm kind of in the mood to have people mad at me right now.
Okay, Mr. Sadist.
So, yeah, you can listen to that podcast, and while you're on the site, be sure to check out all the written articles and stuff. There's a couple of game reviews, a lot of anime write-ups of various shows, like our buddy Alex here is currently covering Tiger Mask W, Yuri on Ice, and Unbaka, as well as our other writers who are covering stuff like Brave Witches and Drifters, which I swear to God really needs to get rid of the bad comedy at this point.
Yeah, you can read all of that on the site, and yeah, things are still getting a little slow, but we're working. We're working on catching up. We just had a very, very hellacious and busy month. Thanks, President Pussy Grabber.
And while you're on the site, be sure to... You'll probably find somewhere the link to our site's Discord group. So be sure to hop in there if you want to talk to us about music, or talk about film, or video games, or unleash your inner dank memester. I will be there to encourage you to post all the dank memes to your heart's desire. Memes.
Yeah, we got it.
Do you? Memes.
Is a cookie.
And, of course, as always, shout out to producer Mr. E for graciously allowing me to use his music for this podcast. Links down in the description. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of the Decibel Boost podcast. So, until next time... Look, I really don't have a segue at this point. I don't know.
Gobble, gobble, bitches.
Don't kill each other on Black Friday or Turkey Day. Just don't die.